award-winning electronic musician, cyber artist, photographer, and
Si
author,
Alex.
who after graduating from Columbia University in 1996 has been based in New York City, Jerusalem, Miami, a remote island in the southwestern Pacific, and now a kibbutz in northern Israel where he is artist in residence.
Yeah.
Dylan Towner
Yeah.
has been producing music, artwork, and writing since he began his prolific 25-year career in 1996 with the ambitious Double Mirrors anthology, which includes a book, photo slideshows, soundtrack, and companion website at doublemirrors.com. The Double Mirrors project evolves years later, as Tauber continues to explore the cyber-spiritual revolution. Dylan has released 14 ambient, electronica, trance music albums, most for free download, through his Son of Wave Studios music label.
Half a day, buenas dyan saludo para tududo si Manay kung binigi programan Marianas Agupa. And Sabado talo Stephanie Lusginin oran alas 9 kaigan este oran alas 11. Undang kululu na kulo para tududo sa amjo ni Manay kung binigi 100.3 FAMA. Rito tumbes tigi unsen mit na kapasidad elektrisidad yairi. So madud ka na, Papa, tinian, luta, sa todos ato siya mani, kung buenaw di islang iguaham. Espesyal na kulo para todos samso. Para lupi at manggay buenaw di katan na isla naging guagwaha, buenaw di sa alamagan, pagan, sabigan. Kulo para todos samso. Para todos lupi maniluta di sa Honolulu, California, Oregon, Washington, Texas, Florida, East Coast siya dyan todos itano, interit mundo. Talo yung felicisitam so half a day. Ganyan todos ang winigit programan Marianas Agupa, itaw-taw Marianas, para todos ang so penaw huzo. Tuwa naman mahalang ang so na itanota, ning kanota, ning kanot sa moro. Lahugan, wala, tatapan sige mo na sa Pago na dia. Julio Día 9, 2022, después de mapanagong Jesucristo. Dahil kung lemoncina na paratakalang hipag na Sabado. Naman balikan nino naman nino na lemon para unkilagwin binado. Zanggin toro. Manya, mausalo ko na lemoncina para unkilagwin ibinada. Zanggin baka. So, sinimbat ko mala tatapan sige mo nagwini zat na ilokwi sa dudo para todos ato siya ihumuhugoy programan Marianas Agupa. I-anonymous donor si Jules Masi para todos judo binigit programata i-Diabetes Prevention Foundation, si Jules Masi i-Taber Foundation, DylanTaber.com sa dudo para hago Dylan. Sa talalang mo sa Izonia track. Tudulog kuya judo binigit programata. No, bala sa i-time check mapatumagi gini ni Bravo Pharmacy and Wellness Center. Kasi man malifay. Pago na ora 9:05 mapatumagi na gini ni Bravo Pharmacy and Wellness Center. All right?
Ikulit siyang tinawag ng hinimlo. I-Bravo Pharmacy ng Central Maulit na hinimlo. Pronto ng listo na sedisyon amo para hinimlo. Agang watu di 233 amot 233-2668. Email is over prescription di bravomeds@gmail.com. Mabababa ginin Lunes esta Viernes. Ginin ni oran alas 9 gegan, esta oran alas 6 di Pupuin. Sabado ginin ni oran alas 9 gegan, esta oran alauna gikanuan talo. Agang watu di 233 amot 233-2668.
Alrighty, Bravo Pharmacy and Wellness Center. Garapan Tagman Zan Inuebu na Ramas Giza Dandan. Alright? Bravo Pharmacy ang Wellness Center. Time check at 9:06. Siya man malifight Loki at Fanelus na Garapan Public Farmers Market. Katungo na ginin ilan siruta muna pa niyo susuy tawto gi masya mono na nasyon interit mundo dong kululu na saludo para todos ilan zero inigi sangkatan na Islas Marianas Lope. Pues mga man malefa na mapapata i produkto i Garapan Public Farmers Market si Leroy o si Paula at ajuda siya loki na lansiruta bula siya no pipino waha siya loki siya root crops dogo suni kamuti magiging waha mendioka adu siya man magulik na siya un anmazas atuli din kanut sa murug wa siya papaza wa loki siya man mangi na gulay cucumbers and feulis diferentes klasin napa manggayigwi us bisita Guanto Igarapan Public Farmers Market lunes hasta Viernes. Okay, pues guahalokwi no zaging gua problema air conditioning ikaritamo in Tinuesta na si Aimee Aturidad gaya kita tinitarusu no bisita si Aimee liga Ace Air Conditioning. Pago naging bumiyahe papa luta mga malefa natin saga di Coro Garden Rota Hotel. Gaya ikan Tunpasi, Siksikindo o Sinosirit. Alright? I-klema Panelos, mapatugin ni Joten Markets and Department Stores, Shop Loco, Shop Joten. Nga talag mo siste.
Today's weather is brought to you by Joten Markets and Department Stores, Shop Loco, Shop Joten. Iklema bago na hani, dina patutuzihan zugini i Medtown Joten zan i Departamentong Tendasiha. Shop Loco, Shop Joten.
Alright, iklema para bago na Sabalo, Tsuta babagi mataon niya i-addaw, 82 Minay Peña gitaluani, unggan iitsan para upat to zaw tantangwe bago. No unsimana talo istina utsan imamamayla pago na hani no scattered showers agupa niya esta imamamayla na sabalo po simple siya esti atutunwi itsan humolom i tempon utsan tatugo na maulik para itinanom siya. Alright, postalo mapatumagin o gilin i Joten Markets and Department Store Shop Loco, Shop Joten, i Manglo, ginin Haza Katan, 11 mizas giora, humidity at 77% pago na hani. Ustalo, mga mamalefa na bisita watu i Joten Markets and Department Stores, Shop Loco, Shop Joten. Alright? Mas mala, yatapan sige mo na binitsumukan, iprogramata panielos. Sa unggan gua siya asunto para talang nos pago. Za finini na mala tata na finini na kulo. Anti sa dita panhujong gi asunto na high effect ilina la unos zan otro. Finini na para si Chapa Uzoa pago mahalo mesti happy birthday kulo para hago. Mapatumagin na ginin as compiling band dan todo si grupo ganaw gi no medical referral para walutan tinian ginin happy birthday kulo para si Linda Azuzu Lokwe si Mea Apatang ha si Debra gipahingi Lokwe daong kulo na happy birthday kulo na gupte si Frank Ada Lokwe happy birthday kulo no para hogo ko para si Nakarina Barcinas kuna papaluta happy birthday kulo si Oma Veheran happy birthday kulo para hogo Antoves happy birthday kulo Lokwe para si Vincent O'Don happy birthday kulo Lokwe si CJ Castro Chief Justice Castro happy birthday kulo Lokwe Luisa Santos happy birthday kulo para hogo Para si Dennis Villagomez, happy birthday kulo. Rosie Matanoni, happy birthday kulo loki. Ganin todo si familia. Victor Cabrera, then ginumi ko si Victor. Napansakan siya tinanom. Happy birthday kulo Vic. Si Olang Camacho, happy birthday kulo lokwe. Kung sinigi siya isigenti na sumililibra para todos lo que ato siya igwaha selebrasyon. Siya man nahlo man to chat o sino text di Marianas Agupa Facebook siya ta jetik esti makinota. Don kulo lo que esti na kulo tananay para si Juana de Leon Guerrero. Waji magang anak gwagwa hemplo gihalom opisina gihalom manaw taon niya. Sa bula man tistitigo na wanay taf si wana gwatu gitetsu biza mo nana gasgas hana bebesti halong opisina hana lili ato siya loke empleado siya na tanto biza kumumagas hana nay loke no hemplo os maulik eno gi manaw taon niya na kan mamago sa tanto biza matsutsu Eskulo para hogo wana Leon Guerrero para loque no imaneku bueno gi islan Guaham no imani luta loque special na kulo para todo do Samso. Bala akani do datapan sige mo nagbili sa gua asunto importante no antisa dita kung sige mo na esti para ato siya umifefiktahit talang mo siya iasunto pa na ogan no wahas siya mansangan manhuhuzong wahas siya katta manhuhuzong sa ulo na katta niya umuzong ginin FAA with the State Federal Aviation Administration CST kumabisasa di ikinalamting airport the patiloki binigi pudi dongkulo na salapi ha fufuk si mogi no wahakat tanya FAA para CPA Commonwealth Ports Authority na sigun gidin audit na humudso bula siya ti man makukumpli man maalilikra sigun gidin audit report kus uno na asunto importante na maalilikra law esta paugo ti malirigra ginin 2020 na sakan esta paugo. La humuzong gikata nililig niya makumprende esta na pada kapasidad di CPA ti masangan tagwenaw law mali na nililig niya na necessaryo fan aligaw sa umanog gisigun ginin irinastrea ufan aligaw accountant na itumungo hapa si tsotso niya, hapa bidada niya. Kosa ki ufan maalikra ado siya na report, recommendation ipo ufan maaligaw. Tat kumo mauno siya na manggayki makiniriya. I-inventaryo siya na timanafat sa kung necessaryo qualified external auditor sa manmanoy fetsa na antisa diyo kapo STE Julio na mes, debi o fatto na report o manapunodsan sa estapogo. Di mismo nakatalope, umuzon na ililing niya na patilope, di makatazi si paraw nakatagwato para gobyerno. Si Governor Torres para u-answer siya question. Law, estapogo tanza answer gini i-governor pudi hak man masusesi di CPA. Pues enige i-asunton audit nesta pago. Sa umafaksa esti siya na palabra i-audit, iparofan marastrea, ikinalanting i-gobernamento sa tamensyon no di CUC loki gimapos na sabalo na importante loki na ma-audit i-CUC sa tali ko ngayon siya na man ma-repair siya na makiniriya. Kau manggagay dia i-inventaryo. Kusisti siya importante sa sinyaha guahan sa kan halungguma tita tubo tita sasangan lo i-audit para sineda zagin marastre mono naman mapipigay siya na makiniriya sa kumahuhulo i-presyo i-CUC kasi nigi unay napati itasasangan po i-presyo na kumahulo i-gasolina lo i-otro pati wini bula gasto niya loke i-CUC na para riba papa necesidad dan todos aso siya gasto na tapapasi kada mes. Hunggan tumunog gasolina kana 25 centimos talo. Uno na sinyag nagwaha humusog report na siyempre manhalumit benaw ki half bidal niya Estados Unidos. Si President Biden na hatutun bumomba siya manggaygi sa Texas sa na reserve na lanya sa man ma-ship wato esta Asia sa Europe na man fatiti na si gasolina usman matsutsuli ito siya na oil reserve na para mafatinas gasolina kung para makontradisi adulokwi siya man masusesidi na tratos i-OPEC o pati na nina pupudong lokwi di presyo papa para necesidad necesidad Amerika mabubomba maski pilacio no 5 milyon galon na gasit na lamya kada dia lalang no suso o sa kipokan mapatinas gasolina. Sige siya muna tutunog sa bulaloke man dadagaw siya palabra ni administrasyon Biden dali muna mapatinas na desisyon para matsuli ito siya na reserve para manatunog i-presyo i-gasolina na high effect taloki Amerika sa benefited winigloki siya naman mamaman US territory. So i-asunton i-audit zan i-presyo i-otro wini na sige mo na humuzong unulo question na audit puro siya asunton audit bago na sabalo walo ki humuzong talo palabra zan informasyon kinin izota no public auditor na hunggan gwa siya rinastreya di public auditor sa soda nagwa siya timanafat sa siya gasto timafat sa matutugi giliblo gwa siya na gasto timatugi giliblo gaston medical referral giza Guam giza Hawaii zan adto siya manapansisidbi para iman malanguta gwa siya kontrata man mafifirma law tawza siya dokumento para inataw ni papa igasto kasi nigi sinidahan niya i-audit izota public auditor. Kung puro siya asuntong audit, di manaafat sa siya gasto, midyon na salapi man magagasta. Sa salapi publiko Estefanelos, importante na magasta gimaulit na manera. Sa zangin gastan babas ti sa ginatsaaw na audit, siyempre ma-referya o wato gi Attorney General sa siya guha problema gi taw-taw na responsable po siya. Potente no sa salapi publiko siya man mausa i-otro gwini loki that puno siya sunton audit umuzong loki nagwaha punta makondukta gi rota delegation sa umaanong ito na report itasangan gi mapos na mes po di riska organisasyones din ay manay fanan 25,000 pesos sa manbanggasta dongkulon sa lapi po pafan manakila kareta dan tilatsyo no umuzong ginin delegation na ma-request para ma-audit taloy riska bises din na organisasyon non-profit zaha zuzuda ilansero when luta lo umuzong na broke estafanan iriska dati matungo manmanggi siya i salapi o sa tutungo para tayo mano esti ang inumuzong esti na report esta tutuhon para mapay ni public auditor no ma-audit i-riska man manggid siya na sa lapi publiko danggin waha no magasta da tibipusi dinansi pues sempre waha magramadero nesti so sinigi i-asunton audit alright no inigi sa hululu binigi programata pa ako na sabalo no unggan tamensyon na po di CUC da titana ko nazan law putante no maatan este sa Guaha Loque Antilacio Guaha Cabo niya i CDA gwini no Guaha inazaw niya i CUC gi 2-3 años malofan o 5 años malofan sa dongkulo na salapi este umuzong na ma-convert ito na salapi into notes sa pateno i-conversion para gay kabo i CDA tutunga ko natin masasangan nino lo debut maatan nino no zanggin sinya ma-convert i-convertible note sa managwaha ma-turn into ownership para CDA posile ko na sinya lokwe arakata este maaligaw este like no strategy no na para ma-privatize na sinya kada taw-taw solidano gwini lokwe sa guaha sa lapi niya peso masaya umatan ko siya gay kabo lokwe i CUC pamahan shares do ma-privatize si CUC utante no na para tali do mas efficient i operasyon niya i CUC ano do kan accountable lokwe isti siya i man matsutsu bueno kasi i Guam news mala data panonong watu gi islan Guam walokwe humuzong gini ni departamento i labor with este umaatan sa dumispopo ni i pandemic unemployment assistance humuzong na mas ki 5 milyon pesos malagno suzong para azo siya ezo siya na solidano maninefekta gini i pandemic COVID-19 zaman eligible para kan manay pandemic unemployment assistance umuzo na guaha 5 milyon pesos ma-overpay, ma-umentazi ti debino ma-umentazi. Law, kumuzong nagwa desisyon sa para azo siya manmanaw siya overpayment gizo niya pandemic unemployment assistance do sa mululuan esta ma-waive na dibi. So nige umuzong para islan Guam para solidano when man eko siya maniduta i-otro lokwe, gwa siya asunto, Guaha Lokwe, i-Attorney General, bidata niya i-islan Guaham, na manfayo complaint para este na kumpanya, i-mambebendi container homes, para ato siya na taw-taw, i-manmalago ni tiny homes. Umuzong, na esta gwa siya, no magatsa, laydod niya este Pacific Homes, si Mr. Paul Sablan, kumubisa i-manihantig winit, nagmisa debut answers din na complaint, i-mafayo wato di AZ, na hafa nati undeliver, ito siya iman manaposi 20,000 pesos na down payment para upan maman guma niya. Dito si container homes na unfahan na matuwato sa maasemboa di lugar mo. Da humuzong na gwa kusina, gwa kwarto, gwa common. Da humuzong na lamigay sta, gwa 3-4 timan matsu gwiti na gima niya da esta editsu na munazan man manaway na 20,000 pesos. Ini masusesigin silang buhang walokwe siga muna matsonik gininiles laturan buhang na para ufan malagnos talo 500 pesos para azo siya lokwe i solidano kudi asuntun este i kumahulo inengkano kumahulo i gasolina kumahulo elektrisidad siya. O sige matsonik talo unggan esta para ato siya ay manautaw-tag wini waha trabiyati man marisisibi ito niya stimulus winigi islata za i-second batch tutungo lesta ko esta humuzong ginigat na haani law waha second batch ibignin niya i departamento ni revenue do ko para waha third batch trabiyati klaro no law sigun ginin i rinastrian i programan Marianas Agupa natalo para ajo i rumisibi siya mananahalong wini informasyon giprogramata kumo reduta esti kininihila na nota na itapatitika dahil niya manawtawta na masen agradisi i adjudo ginin as Governor Torres dan Secretary of Finance na makatina si desisyon para lang nusuzong esti 500 pesos, $500 para uadjuday manawtaw ta stimulus card. Sigun ginin esti na humalom ilingin niya na zanggin langnos talo 8 na 500 pesos no sinya mabotaw talo si governor enigi napalab na manhuhusong parado siya murisibi kita tungo kau ufan langnos talo Secretary of Finance nesti lo enigi napalabra humuhusong Idza Amerika guasya man masusesidi lo antisa dita panahon to Washington no umuzong lokwe na dimalas ihagas Prime Minister gidza Hapon si Abe mapakin ginintati anay humuzong kumakampaign para uno na kandidato gipatidaw niya hasan esti masusedi gidza Hapon magatsa un taw 41 anyos edad niya na tipareo mapaisin anay magatsa maimbestiga mo na daling niya tipareo hininggen niya gi politika za humuzong na anay di wato si Abe halagnos rubed-bed niya za apunta za na pakpak dos na bala wato gitatalo niya si Abe humuzong na dimalas adingoy ihagas Prime Minister sa Hapon si Abe Izusoy sa loke antinya gidsa Illinois loke tapanaw to pag Amerika dahunggan gi July 4th esta nigap na haani Mina City na taw-taw man matay ganung tudus adto siya man mapaki gi duranting parade July 4th parade umuzong na magatsa esti hafa gwi Palawan no man Florita si Robert Crimo na umuzong na minagagon Palawan para utampi posisyon niya na estahaga sa hapla niya umuzong na sige mo na maimbestiga guasya halalagnos impormasyon na enagi para linalaan niya para utsog sumuzong na ma-arrestao za para magramadero gidsa Washington guasya kumalalanting muna, sige muna humuzong informasyon na sige muna man redondea ato siya man saunaw para matulay ka risutton eleksyon i 2020 na sakan anay manggana si President Biden umuzong na ato siya mansaunaw para matulay ka iboto sa Georgia umuzong na Georgia grand jury hasupina sa parofan maagang halom parofan makadena si Rudy Giuliani uno na padlinon Donald Trump na para tulay ka risutton eleksyon umuzong lokwi uno na senador si Lindsey Graham maestro no Trump kumugida abogado si John Eastman dan ato siya dos na Palawan isumaunaw para matulay kay risutto daw mutong grand jury da man maagang yan ang halong siya para fan ma-facing question za para manafan manhula gusto siya na lagi half benaw mo sa siya magramadero for perjury. Sinigi masusisidi sa grand jury sa George Washington para to Georgia na grand jury. I-election o sino i-otro winin na kwetpo i-resultun i-enziling niya January 6 committee na sige mo na loki marastrea ay para matulay ka i-desisyon niya si Mike Pence di January 6 umuzong na sige mo na manhuzong ato siya i-disipulo sa man adingan sa i-committee it's January 6 committee manhuzong siya palabra, nahunggan, istigi siya hiningok niya, istigi siya man masusesidi, bueno na dia, na ora gi January 6. La uno i White House Council, i obligasyon nga, i paroprotehe, i ofisinan i presidente, si Pat Cipollini. La humuzong na komentos, si Cassidy Hutchinson, daling niya hungo ka, si i abogao, na ipromotete i White House, kumugiza Chief White House Counsel, na ililing niya na tisinya man matsogi siya i dipusi para ma-kontradisi Constitution, na para mahanmi watu i Capitol, na para makana, za para makan kundena para manyaka si Vice President Pence. Dadanggin magatsa, pues tunudusit man magramadero sigun gini palabran i White House Counsel si Pat Cipollini. Usenigi man masusesidi giza Amerika akanielos namela data pansigi mo lagwini za no tanao pa na istinasulido da después tabiren mo gigi programan Marianas Agupa sustengan do talo minigi 100.3 FM sabala data na pa na sulido wini gilin as Alan. All right.
Lo bonito yasinando Kiukonti Amerika Diata isi nano Iletis Dios si agitienda Lo todo e polestui muammo Pasepina Padre You misquela si nano Desintifico io diploma Lo guida a tu fumano Nascido abaixo
You're getting in or?
I'm trying to send our transport went out. I'm gonna try. I'm supposed to get off in 10 minutes, right?
In 3 minutes. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I'm trying to use my phone. Hold on.
Alright, nga sa no di minor no sound no muhuzong ililing stitch duta na yung muhuzog i sound gini. Molika gini umukas ni. Molika gini i sound. Molika. Ay. Wali man text alun na. No sound. Oh, okay. All right. So, Facebook is siguro na yung minor problem. Low dispensa. Wala tatana open na. Okto siya na sunido na za. Just liligres ni. Minor problem. Low dispensa. Okay, malagak siya mo nesti no zometic i pukumata gwa didi no audio difficulty gini umuzong. Alright, po sa guaha si Ping. Okay, maulika giza guam mahugo ka si Ping si Zeus Mase. Po sa ritutumbo esti giza Islan Aguaham. Sigun ginin as Ping. Tutungo ko background music ini takilo ini aspad ililing niya mapus high. Alright, pus bala jasta na ulo basta si Ambrose jata tsuli esti siya loke. Ambrose, boy.
Yes,
You.
sir. Can you hear me pretty good?
Okay. Let me get your mic on here. All right, go ahead.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes,
is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm using my phone because we have a transformer that blew out for our house. Anyway, I didn't prepare a lot, but what I want to start with is, does this CNMI people really should be paying for 5 lawyers for this governor? I know we're supposed to assist him with a lawyer, and he has 4 lawyers here in the CNMI, and he had one on the mainland who never came here that got tens of thousands of dollars. I think we're being ripped off with this whole thing. The idea that other people violated the law does not delineate anything that he did. And he's trying to use other people's faults to get himself free from obligations. And that is totally wrong, because the court can easily say, well, that is for the court to decide on after this. I believe one of the reasons the Attorney General started with the governor was to set that now that it has been exposed about the other people, that they should be prosecuted also, especially the lieutenant governor who knew that he had done the same thing. And he acted surprised about everything when he started to testify. I'm sure he's going to act surprised about this. I do wish him well with his health issues, but I think that he's not being forthright with us. He should have really said something when he saw all of this coming, and he may have automatically become the next governor. But he let it go and let it go, and now he's talking about building trust when he's the one that helped to destroy our trust by being blind-eyed. The other thing I want to mention today is about the medical referral issue with Cagman Community Health Center, because this was a personal experience with myself, and I learned that no patient from Cagman Health Center can go on medical referral. Ms. Munya is asserting that the Cagman Community Center is a federally funded center, which it is, and that they should pay their own way for people to travel, which is false. The primary primary care grant that the Cagman Clinic has only allows them to go to level 1 and level 2 of service. Level 1 is the primary service that they give at the clinic. Level 2 is their referral program, where they refer people to doctors. If we were in the US, the assumption would be that they would refer to another doctor in the same city. However, the CNMI has to transport people to other islands. That obligation falls under our medical referral program. The big problem is she's asserting something that's not true. The tertiary care grant is the one that actually allows them to send people, which the Cagman Community Center does not have. And I feel that there's a personality conflict going on starting. The center was raided. I feel that there was a problem when the center was raided, and they took all the equipment and stuff, including the TV, without any notice, because Mr. Castro had wrote a grant and separated the center from the hospital. And she was very irate about it. She even made a statement publicly about it. And now that she has the power over the medical referral program, she's back at it with Mr. Castro. Mr. Castro is a mild-mannered person. He's not for all this controversy and stuff. I feel bad for him, but as an activist, I'm going to speak out on this issue. The big thing is when Mr. Castro tried to resolve the matter, Ms. Munya wanted to literally bribe the center, saying that the center had to pay $500,000 just so their patients could be referred. And that's not fair. That's discrimination, especially when other centers can send their patients. Cagman's Community Center is the only community center that cannot get people on referral. I'm waiting. I actually went to the emergency room, and so I can go to the family clinic at the hospital to see if I can get referred, because I do need some immediate attention. And I think it's sad that people have to go through this, have doctors do double work to try to send people on medical referral, because now I have to become a patient of the family clinic so I can be referred. And it shouldn't be like that. I'm hoping that it can be resolved. Representative Tina Sablon is really trying to mediate this issue and bring it to an end. She's scheduled to meet with people, I think, next week sometime. So I hope it can be resolved, because whenever with the hospital receiving local and federal funding for services to all people. And she cannot discriminate against the Cagman Community Center by asserting they have a grant. Yes, they have a grant, but it's for first and secondary care only. It is not for the third tier, which is tertiary care, which is another grant totally different from the grant that they have. I doubt if she's ever even read their grant. She just knows that they have a federal grant and making those assertions. And then the big thing was she didn't tell anybody. And Mr. Castro was waiting on a document or something in writing so that he could inform the clinic. So he was left in limbo. And the way they realized what had happened was when patients were calling the medical referral program, they were telling them they can't be referred. So she didn't even issue a notification to the clinic nor to the public that she was canceling the medical service program for Cagman Community Center. And I'm sure we know why she didn't issue that, even though it was a fiduciary duty, is because it's wrong and it makes her look bad. I truly believe that she cares about the community, she cares about the hospital, and she cares about, and she's good at what she's doing. But I believe this interpersonality conflict between her and Vince, because he opened up the center without telling her, which is really a control freak matter, I think. He had every right to open up a center if he could, just because she didn't know. So ever since then, there's been this rift, or might I say enmity, between them. And it's all because it's like a sexual abuse thing in the office. It's the person who has the power that does it. So she has the power and she's doing it to Vince. And I feel sorry that the people are caught up in this. I'm praying that Miss Sablon can get an end to it. As far as our economy, this Japanese bubble, okay.
Just a quick question on that note. The Kangman Community Center, they do have their own board of directors, right?
Yes.
Policy board, or is it
Yes. Yes, they do have to have that.
separately
Some kind
from?
of oversight. I'm not sure how it works, but I'm sure they have some kind of oversight over what Vince does.
Okay. All right. Okay. So go ahead with the economy. What do you think?
Okay,
with the Pacific?
with the economy, we're hearing about the Japanese attempt to bring the Japanese tourists back, and I believe that is great. I've been yelling for that ever since they was going to open the casino, because I was against a Chinese investor getting the casino. I knew that as a sociologist that the Chinese would literally run the Japanese away. This is an issue between those two cultures. They do not get along. They do not like each other. And for us to try and mesh those two together, it doesn't work. That's why sometimes lawmakers need to talk to sociologists when they're doing matters like that, because we can see exactly what I predicted did happen. The Japanese tourists left. It really makes us look silly because our island was full of Japanese sites. There's nothing here that's Chinese. And now we have a Chinese elephant in the middle of Garapan. And for sure, I don't know if these Japanese are going to be return visitors once they come and then they see the Chinese footprint. So we have to just wait and see. I was pushing all along for a Japanese to gain control of that, to get that exclusive license, because at least we wouldn't have lost our tourism. The government in China has already ruled, issued a statement that they're not issuing visas for any Chinese citizen to go off island to gamble. That means they are not coming here anymore. is going to be scarce as far as gambling and tourism. So if they're coming as a tourist, they can't come. They will have to come as in another form. I think that we still need to fix some of the old things. Like I said, the Marianas Resort and La Fiesta, they're wasting away. Those are millions of dollars we're sitting and watching just rot, literally, and nobody's doing anything about it. The CNMI government needs to take back the collateral equipment that IPI and Best Sunshine bought from Can Pacific at the hotel, because they actually own the equipment, the beds and all of that stuff, lamps and things. I think they should have to forfeit that for violating their casino contract for inability to deliver. And I don't see anything that's really working towards the people and to help the people with our economy. Everybody is getting their money that's owed to them from IPI by court order. The Casino Commission has never asked for 1 penny of the 57 million owed to the people. We are last on the list, and that 57 million could do a lot to help our economy if we put it in the economy.
Okay. Are you back on your regular PC or your phone?
I'm still using my telephone.
Okay.
No power. I don't have any power in the house.
Okay, hold on. Let me get this. I have someone on some comments.
Okay.
On the live chat here from Representative Corina Magofnia. Buenas.
Okay.
Okay, I got some message here from Benavente, si Ping. There's a call here. Let me get this call and see if there's a question relevant to the issues that we're talking about. Buenas, y programa Marianas Agupa.
Good morning.
Morning, good morning.
It's a polite question, you tell us why we always wait until last minute for the election. Why those things come out? Why we don't talk since before when we still very strong? Our noise there. Why we talk about everybody now? But the reason why we are running away our people, because the land belongs to us, oceans belong to us. They said Carolina near Switzerland. So tomorrow they were farmers. Where are they now? Chinese said they were a farmer.
What is your question to Ambrose?
I started a question.
Oh, just a comment. Okay. Okay.
It's the economy.
All right.
Result before. Why we wait until last minute? We just talk about our economy. But before it's very good economy.
Okay.
I don't care whether who are they, but our economy is still okay until now. Until now, it's still okay, but I don't know what happened.
Inon mo isa si
Buibui.
Okay, si Buibui. Okay, Buibui. Thank you, Neno, the comment. Okay, there's a comment. Wait, Ambrose. There's a question, a comment that he brought up, and I just have to. I missed it on the earlier, on my monologue here.
Okay.
The caller mentioned about the what do you call this election, and I forgot about Monday is the first day. If inini na haani to submit a petition for candidacy, Monday, starting Monday. Pues para ato siya manapliplika su publiko, como si 20 publiko ilunis, ifinini na haani. Ventilatio, sige na humalong unug ini si Magdalena. Misgun para una halom is una petition gi Monday morning. O simple man mafaisin o sino man nahalom siya ipumalo kita tungo ko para mananggas tay ultimo momento na para last day to submit. Now first day to submit is Monday. To submit nominating petition at the Board of Election, okay? All right. So back to you, Ambrose.
Okay, I noticed that he was saying that why we wait until now to start talking about those things. I think he's not paying attention, because I've been writing about La Fiesta for about 6 years in a newspaper. Every now and then I'll talk about how it hadn't been leased. And more recently, I added the Marianas Resort to my conversation in the newspaper. So I've been talking about this for years, and nothing has happened. A little bird told me that one of the reasons the governor won't do those things is because the people will realize Ambrose Bennett pushed him into doing it, because I've been saying it and talking about it for years in the newspaper, and it's no secret. Yet nobody wants to issue a RFP to lease those places, and that is just awful and totally ridiculous. Back to the Japanese tourist market, something came to mind was that when I wrote the legislation for the cannabis to be legalized, one of the things I put in there was to extend the entry section at the airport for a pre-screening patients before they go through the first official checkpoint with their passport. Because once they pass that point, now they're in federal space. What I saw in Colorado when I did the research for the Senate was they have an amnesty box where people can, if they got marijuana, they can throw it away. They actually had a dog walking around to see if anybody was still trying to sneak past them, because they didn't want to arrest people for trying to take marijuana out of Colorado. We just opened we're opening the door for the Japanese tourists. For sure, the younger Japanese are going to smoke marijuana. What we need is to do what I said in the legislation, which is fix that area where you enter, where that little snack bar is, maybe, and extend it out to the flagpole so that a person can go through there with a dog, and then before they enter the federal checkpoint, there will be a what they call an amnesty box where they can just throw it in there and go on out. The last thing we need is for the Japanese government to ban their tourists because they're bringing marijuana back from the CNMI. Nobody is thinking, nobody is listening to what I wrote. Yes.
So what you're saying is for exiting passengers or arriving passengers?
Exiting when they're leaving. Okay, we don't need a Japanese tourist to get caught in Japan with marijuana from the CNMI.
Okay. So the amnesty box is for them to throw their stuff in there prior to going boarding.
Right, and actually have a dog to sweep them as they go through. And then if they get caught, then they still won't have a charge. They'll just have to give it up, because they're actually saving these people from getting a federal charge here and another charge possibly in Japan. And that can hurt us. So we need to protect ourselves by putting the amnesty box there and extending the entry area out to the flagpole. Because I actually went there and looked to see how it could be done when I was writing the legislation for the Senate when they sent me to Colorado.
All right. So they haven't hired you yet?
No. Well, you know this, I hate to say it, but Republicans, they want to be the ones to get all the credit. Yeah. And I'm an outgoing, you never hear them say, we have to give the credit to this person. We have to give the credit to that person. It's always to the governor.
But there is a commission, cannabis commission. Why don't
I went to them, asked them to let me help them, and they refused me. Mr. Guerrero was like their watchdog, And I really think they're still, some of them are really just puppets of the administration. I called them and told them about the 420 day that is celebrated around the world. I asked them to use the Enos Park that can segregate, and actually you can control make sure all adults are up there to have that 420 day, because we don't do anything with that Enos Park. I haven't seen any event or nothing, and I think it should be the 420 hill for the CNMI. One of the challenges we have is MVA cannot advertise in Japan and some of the tourist destinations about cannabis and smoking. And we have to go about it in another way. So if we make it kind of like an international news thing and do it through the internet, then we can start getting people to actually come here because of cannabis. The reason is nobody knows yet. Only the local people. They're not trying to help the cannabis industry. I actually had it in the legislation how they could get support. There's millions of dollars waiting to help the cannabis industry.
I think you should just submit a proposal to the Cannabis Commission to offer your services and have it in black and white that these things need to be done and to help the economy.
I did that already, I'm telling you. And I met with them.
Oh, okay. Right.
And they flat out refused, any assistance. And what gets me is that none of them were vocal or did anything to get it done. In fact, I did most of the heavy lifting. That's why the governor actually hired me to help the House when they got control of the bill.
So everything is kumbaya for them.
Yeah, I know. And what gets me is I actually had an entire small book of things that need to be done to the bill to fix it. Do you know the governor called me and said, "Hey, Ambrose, come on up here. We finna sign the bill." And he never looked at anything I had assessed and done. And I'm like, why did you hire me? Just to be a showpiece and to make sure that I wouldn't be against them on the issue. And I think that's sad because he really has never looked at all the changes and things I said needed to be in that bill. And the Dropbox, the amnesty Dropbox was one of those things that I had tried to get done.
Okay. Stand by. We're going to get to a commercial break, Ambrose, and we'll be back. Hold on.
Okay.
Time check at 10:05. Mapatumagi gini ni Bravo Pharmacy and Wellness Center at 10:05.
Ikumit amot zan hinimlo. I-Bravo Pharmacy zan Central Maulig na hinimlo. Pronto zan listo na serbisyon amot para hinimlo. Agang watu i 233 amot 233-2668. Email is over prescription di bravomeds@gmail.com. Mabababa ginin Lunes esta Viernes. Ginin ni oran alas 9 giga, esta oran alas 6 di Popoy. Sabado, ginin ni oran alas 9 giga, esta oran alauna gitaluan talo. Agan watu i 233 amot 233-2668.
All right, i-Bravo Pharmacy and Wellness Center. Time check at 10:05. Darapan kagman sa Nuevo Ramas giza dandan. All right, malazat na holomestilo ki ini Joten markets and department stores di Klema para pa na Sabado talo 82 Minay Peña.
Today's weather is brought to you by Joten Markets and Department Store. Shop local, shop Joten. Iklema pagunahani nina katutusihan zukin i Midtown Joten zan i Departamentong Tendasihan. Shop local, shop Joten.
All right, i-Klema para pa na Sabado talo 11 miles per hour. Ginin has a logo imanglo, humidity 77%, istasasangan na iitsan para un semana inimpaw na sabalos tayo otro sabalo tayo. So sige, talo makatugin ni Joten Markets and Department Stores, Shop Loco, Shop Joten, with si Juice Mosse, mala na tatsulis landline, okay? Talo 234-5929, zaging guahagwe daw. No question mo sino malago humalom, iprograman Marianas Agupa. All right, mala na tatsulis okay, one question para si Ambrose. Buenas.
Oh, yeah, good morning, Glenn.
Good morning, good morning.
Are you echo si Ambrose ni isa sasangan ni?
Okay.
Cannabis.
All right.
Yeah, ganti last ito no. Oli talo kinuro ko niya, hindi sa talanggaw, ligi ni gaseta. Pero talon masa nung ba si David Peter ni si nalain ni mato.
Oh, ha. Pero
So, no, it's coming up. I think it's this week, next week.
Ambrose,
Yeah.
did you hear that? There's a meeting to amend, I think, the cannabis. You might want to.
No, I hadn't heard anything.
Not exactly amending, salam puro ma-review.
Or review. Okay, irregulation, no. Okay. They're gonna review the regulation for our candidate for municipal council, Carmen Pangilinan. Did you hear about
All right.
that?
No. And let me say this. One of the things I wrote in the first draft for the legislation was for the municipal councils and the mayors to be over all of this, because the conditions are different on each island. I also said that there needs to be some public places where adults can gather and smoke marijuana. There should be a small section on certain beaches or whatever at certain tourist sites, because what we're going to do is we're going to have people illegally smoking marijuana in public because there's no public place to smoke. And it's just so much they overlooked and they didn't think about. Like I said, the Enos Hill could be a permanent place where people can gather as adults and smoke. It's for adults only. So we can identify even small sections of beaches. We can put blinds up at certain tourist sites where people can go behind the blinds as adults and smoke. We got to really get into this, talking about bringing tourists here. And that amnesty box is really key, because if Japanese tourists start showing back up in Japan with marijuana from the CNMI, the Japanese government is going to do something about it. And it's not going to help us. It's going to hurt us. So we got to take this serious.
All right. Anything else, Carm?
Yes, binansin no. Si Ambrose sa susangan.
All right.
Na imanisa ni umadiscipline ka gisi minors.
Okay.
Yawan ng mo pa cannabis dispensary pag mo ne isinya ho puron tongja gina lugar anu saan usong ng palagi lugar mo. You know.
Yeah.
And the family ni say banda tourism ne.
Mm-hmm.
Mga pa mo sa naman matang gini review.
All right. Esther, thank you, Carm.
All right, thanks.
Tawagulo ko sige na molum si Representative Corina Magofia, 22-78.
What's that?
I think she's referring to the proposed bill or the proposed bill, I think.
What? To do what?
I think that's the amending the cannabis law, I think. Well, I asked her to call in so she can explain. Representative Corina Magofia, please call in 282-34-5929 so we can get clarification from you.
This would be the second time, and each time is because of something I had already told them to do. And that's the sad part. They made a joke of me in the Senate. Oh, we're going to make the bill have 1,000 pages for you, Mr. Bennett, because they kept striking out stuff. And I'm like, how are you going to have a cannabis bill with only you know, 2 or 3 pages. I'm like the lady in the Wendy's commercial when she said, "Where's the beef?" We just made it legal. We just made it legal. We didn't do all the small things and nuanced things that we needed to do to really make it a bustling and growing industry. The main thing is we're not advertising it.
All right.
We should be advertising it throughout Micronesia anyway.
Okay,
To
stand by.
all of those places
Stand,
would be
stand by.
coming here.
Stand by, and let me just announce this out that for those who are supporting that bill, I think 22 to 78 or the amendment of the cannabis bill 234-5929. Please call in so we can get your comment. Buenas, i-programan Marianas Agupa.
Buenas. Morning.
Good morning, Loque.
Brother,
Yes.
sila ni Pupanolin sa kanila. Sa Secretary of Finance, sila niya tourism verification. Hey, last week, italan distributor para berdalan sesan di Kosalan.
Mandoku iboksu gitalulu gitalan.
Apa na bandoki heavy equipment. Juang adama kita kanan apa di Gulpas. Maksudnya di bridge mah tindi kini di salah pasti para berdalan sih. Nama malau di batas nama sekali. Denwa.
Esta si Jus Mase. Tingin siya na informasyon manahalom gini ni Solidano.
Okay.
Na ato na zuno managang di Chiduta gida managang zo pud edi chalan na man ma distrosa siguro ililing niya at di man malilig na heavy equipment. All right. Okay, pues thank you Neno. Za pwede umaatan Neno gi Public Works umarastreya di Makpi. So maatan sa paroholum tourists. We're gonna start seeing Japanese tourists coming in. That's the administration's plan to bring in the Japanese market.
The thing is, I hope they will keep coming back.
Yeah,
because once they see that Chinese footprint, they're not going to be smiling about that.
And one of the things that is very important is beautification, making the island beautiful. And if the island is not beautiful, it's not clean, it's dirty, and it's damaged. How can you have a word of mouth advertising? And that's very effective.
Okay, well, one of the things I mentioned was when the super typhoon hit and literally gave the island a haircut, I wrote an article saying that we need to take advantage of this and clear those view areas like at Lau Lau and Capitol Hill where the Tanga Tanga jungle actually blocks the view. And we need to plant whatever or even concrete over so that those jungles would not grow on the side of the road, blocking the views. People come when they drive, they love those nice views because they actually get to see the island, but they're looking at too many jungles, and we're not doing anything about it. We had a group, Beautify CNMI, that was really going, but I guess they lost their leadership in the effort, kind of died. I think Parks and Recreation should have an ongoing program, especially using low security inmates to keep these hills and things maintained. Because once they get it cut down, they can get it done. They can pay them 25 cents an hour because they're in prison, and they'll gladly come out and do the clearing and stuff like that. And they're low security. In the States, they do the same thing. Like when the snow drops, it's the low security inmates who get on those trucks and go out and drive those snow plows and do all that stuff early in the morning before the traffic even comes. So using low security inmates is a common thing on the mainland, but we're not using them here. That we're just sitting there, and it will help them too. They have a little more money in their commissary to spend.
Okay, thank you so much, Ambrose, for your
reporting.
Thank
you. And can I give up one more shout out? If you get in touch with, if anybody gets in touch with Miss Karina McGoffner, I know she knows that I was disappointed about her leaving the Democratic Party, but I'm a real professional, and I'm truly really willing to help her if she would get in touch with me, because I actually have a small booklet of things, of adjustments that need to be made to the bill that I prepared for the governor that was never used. And he paid $7,500 for that. Never used it, people. So this goes to show you how our money is wasted. I was thinking about the inventory at the referral program. They're talking about nearly $500 million has been misused since that program began. And it's awful. I had told them in 2013 to build our own hotel or buy one, because we're spending enough money to actually own a hotel on Guam, which would give us a permanent site that would actually bring the community together, because Chamorros on Guam and Chamorros on Saipan, they're getting more and more distant apart. Pretty soon, there are going to be only a few that know each other on both islands. And having our own permanent place or center where there's always Chamorros and stuff, it would be a great thing. But this governor is just wasting money. And I'd be glad when we have a governor that will at least give me a chance. I am a recognized researcher, an economist, and political science. I have degrees in these things. And that's why I keep speaking out for this. Some people see I'm causing controversy, but controversy is the tip of the spear to progress and change. If you go back in history, you will find that many of the things that came about when we used to talk about gay people, that was controversy. Now we embrace them. Okay. I appreciate it.
I understand, Ambrose. You are a very smart person. I salute you for your all the degrees that you have. But
yes,
you know, what do you call this? There's a way to do it in a humble way.
Right.
Everybody knows. Everybody knows your qualification. You don't have to say I. If you know the people here, you don't have to put that aside, because they know your qualification. You don't have to continue saying that. But I applaud you. I admire you for your outstanding work experience, and people should utilize your expertise. But just put I did this, I did that, because Chamorros, they don't like that. You see what I'm saying?
Well, let me say.
Let me say
this. Yeah. There's a cultural difference here. One of the things my mom told me when I came out here was that sometimes, Ambrose, you have to toot your own horn. I have yet to see anybody write anything in the paper saying, "Thank you, Ambrose Bennett." I've been doing this for 20 years. And, it don't bother me, because I'm doing this to try and help the people. I'm a person who believes that don't try to make something nice when it stinks to high heaven. I speak we used to call this the type of preaching that we have as very rough and strong. And I was raised and grew up with preachers who talk strong and hard. And it's not in me to be soft and nice.
Like I said,
when it comes to serious issues,
you're doing great job. You have high qualification, but you're in the environment here, in the island. You have to understand the culture here. So
I know. Well, that's what I'm trying to say.
Humble.
I understand the culture here, but the culture needs to change. Yeah, that's the problem.
I know, but
the culture needs to change, because what I'm doing now if I did this on the mainland, I
if
would
it's
be like an Al Sharpton or something.
yeah, but here,
You know, here
because-
when let me give you one example. When the students on the mainland were needing their checks to get back in school, they were on the verge of being kicked out of school. I called for a protest. This is for Chamorro and Carolinian students. When I went up to Capitol Hill for the protest, guess who came? Nobody. I was the only one protesting, but guess what? The next day they fixed it
okay, so
because Mr.
like,
Bennett was sitting out there with a sign. So it's not about me. It's about what I'm trying to do.
yes, but
And you know, you have to give credit where credit is due. But just
yeah,
because I say I ain't me, it's me. That don't mean you're supposed to not accept the truth, and you're
no,
supposed to reject what I'm saying.
no, but you have to understand the
Humility is a two-way street.
yeah, I understand, and
Humility is a two-way street.
look, listen,
If I be humble, then I'm going to get run over.
just listen, listen. Sometimes
Okay.
listening is better than talking. You know, God gave us 2 ears to listen twice as much. He gave us one mouth to speak less. So just
Yes.
listen. I salute you. You did great job. People here understand where you're coming from, your qualification. But when you have an idea, try and be humble, have humility, and do it as we can do this, we can do that. Don't say I will do this, I did that, because the culture here doesn't like that, Ambrose. I'm sorry to say that, but that's how it is. You're
I
doing a good.
understand.
I salute you. I'll see you next Saturday. Keep doing.
God bless.
Okay, God bless you, Ambrose.
Thank you. Adios.
Thank you. Okay. All right, Tatsulis, the next caller. Buenas. Yes. Good morning, Loque. Adzi, oh, Bern. Okay, Bern. Consigue mo na, Bern. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know why he mentioned by his knowledge of the details of economy, and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
By long I don't know why you don't come to long the day governor long as the governor I can help you with my knowledge. But I think the guy doesn't have common sense. That guy is loud. Some don't have common sense. So he's speaking by his own smart, but not me. But the rest of the people that are smart too. Many smart, black people, white people, tomorrow people. That you got the tomorrow that we became knowledgeable people. They will say they're smart, but if you're not in the car, if you're not with the Republican Party, even though how smart you are against me. Many people that are smart that I can think not only him, common sense. When you start my life, it's not the back.
No, sometimes if you cannot use common sense, Bern, you use common sense. Okay, Bern. Thank you. Adzi? Paramono? Oh my goodness. Really, si John? I don't see one can. With the moto gini gi radio station si John, no? With the apalig mo adingwe di tawto? Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, let's see. Si Zuzu inetsa bendisyon ne si Luta. Sanggan gone bene moto mo gi gini na. Yung radio. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Puspago anogan na dingwit si Luta. All right. Thank you, Brendan, on the information. All right. Say na init sa bendisyon niya si Luta. Thank you, Bern. Si Jesus Masi, no? Mm. Hingga sa foto si Delegate Kilili. Mm. Mm. All right. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm. So na mauli ko pa ako, no? Okay. All right, Bern. Lana, thank you, no? You know what? Estão recebido mo stimulus, Bern? Lana, Bern, apa? Okay. Okay, teman ni second batch lang yan, no? Está tututo no mujong ginin Fridays niya Lunes talo na. Okay. Alright. Lo untunga no na eji man manoy na. Lingyan na jangin humujong talo na no 500 pesos talo otro mes na. Lo para maboto na talo si governor. Lana lo nigi man hujong na. Mm.
Hmm. Hmm. Alright. Okay. Alright, Bern. Si Jesus Mosin, ano? Puro siya no taki turun waka liling mo, no? Hmm. Alright. Okay. Ulay, magulo kay Bern. Bravo. Thank you nizo na information. Pwede at no tayo gigurupo na hindi siguro ito sa todo sa si man lo apa no sa no sa atin mo sa si Ambrose. Di po na molikaw ni siluta si Ambrose sa mana jujuda si Ambrose. Masyati makukuni na ilo. Ano, bula siya eksperyensya niya na ilo anso tawtaw no. Dahil sa atilong niya siguro kasi Ambrose. Okay, Bern, si Jesus Mosi. Okay, alright. Okay, hello. Okay, si Jesus Mosi para si Bern, pagod ang gingwa hagwen talo 234 670-234-5929. Kasi nigi no lo uno we first class ticket jigi siya tisyo comprended so apa na mana i-issue stigi magay. It doesn't matter how's in a governor ne. Debi u ma-allow izota chief executive para travel first class gimagay. Ang gizagawa is ti kontento zo pero katata sum izoko no governor ki hilo itambulo ayo 47 o 49 debi zaginti umlat gipresente na regulation umana ki umlat it doesn't matter how's in a governor debi u travel zagin paro represented u travel gi maulik na siza za na kon represented gi na kapasidad kasi nigi no tutuo ako na sige no humolong na issue first class ako na humolong si lieutenant governor gi first class polo sa holom gi first class sa lieutenant governor no umana umlad na usunto sa ginti umlad pa ako gusto tuwa ka no na mana big issue no ti comprende no siya go lazio na estilo para go ti comprende no na para mana big issue no nigi siya no puro so no tutungo ka na no lo pos no siya na para tana hono izota lieutenant governor or governor trumavo on official business na para gaigi hilo ayo 57 giza tatati if yun kemon no ti sinyo comprende no dispenso lo ti sinyo comprende no. Okay, mala data pansige mo na gini ipugaman Marianas Agupa. Besa gua talu gini manogan ipugaman Marianas Agupa. Yes, how this day? Oh, burn shoot na. Aha.
They're going to repeal the man who expand law regarding for good of common wealth. I don't know if they're thinking that. So I wish this coming leader would amend. He called me na sinabi maganda mo. Sa tibo, hindi po lahat ng pagkakas. Itagi mo muli, mo muli yung brand naman. Dami, hindi po rin pagsiging. Kung iba ni kita din kalita. Hindi na likulan niya. Kung pwede na yung pagtaka. Chuli, tutulo, hindi nga siya trapo, authority. It was administration to president. I don't know, maybe it's going on. Okay. Thinking that yung sinabi ng mga ito, yung baba, tayo gawin ka magsituloy, we're talking about 4 years. Yung baba, tayo seno. Yung baba, tayo grabe. Yung nagpasto siya pala. Minasing ko siya ang babata, minasay. Ibigin mo, minasyan si Siloyo, minapusto Siloyo, minapusto Siloyo. Pagong nalili pinasyan. Kasi nag-gobyerno, sinumumu, manamono, kasi kung na tulungan tumagi niya first class, dahil niya si ma-refund o si ma-refund, na ma-refundable o refundable. Hindi kami to ride na siya, hindi kami magkasa na, pagkasa, dito po namin pag-isita, kita nung para po na namin pag-isita, o kita na po.
All right, bro. Está. Thank you, Neno. Okay. Thank you, bro, Neno. Okay. Está. Si Jesus Mose. Malatatsuli cellphone. Buenas. All right. Yung volume si lutan no sagi talo manogan, okay? Malado tatsulis ni. Talo manogan talo. Agun dayo i-phone o sino i-landline. 234-5929 670 i-telephone gini. 234-5929 gitu tawag sa pino tahutsu mi programata. All right, malaga tatsulisti po niya. Managan si Representative Corina Magofnia. Buenas. Okay, nangadata na alumnisti si Luta si Phil. Buenas, Phil. Okay, konsige mo na. Ate? Buenas, Phil. Konsige mo na. Apaling mo? Casino no estado guasya kwenta ha papasista. Siga adong mididi maaligaw tay mano ne po baba na sa guasya kwenta ha papasista muna lo trabia ti ha papasi idibinya todo ini problema na Casino Imperial Pacific presente pa. Debi yung follow. Nangga sa esta aga nga. Nangga sa petsagi umaga nga talo. Esta feel si Jesus Mose no? Wala dapat sagi pan magait no. Zumiti este. Okay, tanaon fan alan bonitong sunido gid as Richie tunga nagwazo kantanya si Luta. Data mensas detika este pabay na kihalom. Kaya nauna siyalan sa tapan rock and roll. Yellow Misty programan Marianas Agupa. Bago na Sabalo. Right. Paninaw na. O, hindi bago. Wala that Sudes tigini ni Dr. Representative. Buenas, Representative Magufnia.
Hello.
Buenas, Representative Magufnia. Good morning, Panahogo.
Magulos ko ang paratuli sa Marianas. Sa mga
Si Jus Mose talo na no Representative Karina Magufnia tuwa na unuhaw na kandidato para isang hilo na guma. Sa bonito mo na karera no sampai tanagwa tempo na siya maulumog nilo finini na pud edzi asunto na madiskuti earlier edzi bill apa zo na bill like mo 22-78
Unga national bill is a proposed amendment na ma-introduce in as Representative Ipon. Some of the amendments on there include creating a revolving account for the Cannabis Commission to fund their own operations instead of going through the general fund or to finance to conduct their daily operations. Another amendment on there that was being proposed is to allow the plantation of marijuana on public land, but in the Northern Islands. Another amendment on there is also to change the expiration date. Right, currently as it stands, the expiration date is always on the 30th of September of each year, and the proposed amendment is to change that. It's 1 year from when you get your license. So I think it makes sense to do that. Also, if the expiration is always on the 30th, you just got into the business 2 months before that. You pay the same fees as everybody else, but you only have 2 months before you have to renew again. So those are just some of the amendments that Representative Ipon is asking.
Okay, are you part of the committee?
I am, yes, I'm a committee member of the cannabis. So we will be holding another meeting with the author himself, Mr. Ipon, that we would like to invite back the Cannabis Commission to really get a full understanding of the intent of the revolving account. We want to make sure that it's justified and reasonable, and also hear from the author himself. So we just conducted a public hearing the other day, 2 days ago, I believe, and unfortunately nobody showed up. But the Cannabis Commission did come. Mr. Eric Boston, the vice chair, he Max Young Guerrero. But as far as public attendance, still nobody was there, But so we do want to bring back Mr. Ipon, the Cannabis Commission, to get a better understanding on the intent of the amendment, and then we can move forward.
Okay, as a member of the committee, Representative Magufnia, in your honest opinion, is the industry working for us or against us?
In my honest opinion, I think it's too soon to make that determination. We are still trying to get more information from the Cannabis Commission me, I need data, and right now I think the Cannabis Commission is in transition because they do have a new acting managing director, and obviously with that we always have to give time for them to get caught up to speed with what's going on, and we do hope to bring them back in for another update. And when we do that, then we'll have a better idea. But from what I've heard and seen so far in the past presentations that the commission has given, they're not generating enough revenue to sustain their operations at this point. And it's kind of, it is concerning, but we also want to be thoughtful and considerate to try and give them the support that they need, because we will never know if this industry is going to survive if we don't provide them the support that they need.
Okay, very, very fair assessment thus far, right? However, Representative, we need to make a determination very soon to cut our loss, na sa tisiya na para tasigya Fungok City sa lapi resources, na we cannot continue to give them resources if the industry is not gonna sustain, na. So that's my take on it, and I'm glad that you have your due diligence, like give them a little time, though. When the day comes, somebody has to make a determination to stop this industry if it's not working for us.
And this is why data is so important, and for me, the financials will help me get a better understanding and overview of where they are headed.
This is the Commerce Commission, right? I mean, Commerce Committee.
Cannabis.
I mean, not a Cannabis Committee, but under what? Under, is it tourism too, or part?
Cannabis has its own committee.
Okay. So committee has separate Cannabis Committee. Okay. So we need to look at this clear.
Once we confirm the meeting date with the author himself and the Cannabis Commission, we will definitely publish it out and let people come and hear about it.
And look at the numbers, né? So we know that we cannot continue to fund it's an employment agency if it's not generating revenue for the people, né? Because we need to cut our loss if it's not working for us. If it's working against us, we need to cut our loss.
Yes, just like with any other business.
Yes.
You have to be realistic and
We have to, yeah.
whether or not the company or the organization themselves can sustain,
Yes.
their existence.
Okay.
So absolutely.
Very good. Any other issues coming with the CPUC or the?
I do know that Representative Donald Macaulay will be pre-filing a bill to help CUC with the fact charges, and I briefly read through the bill because he just sent it to us yesterday, and the bill is essentially going to take the liquid fuel tax that is going into the general fund as revenue and to provide it to CUC to help with the fuel charges. So hopefully that will help the rate maintain and just help the people in general. That's the general intent of the bill, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, great. And
so that's something that's coming down the pipeline.
okay.
Yes.
One more. Your proposed $1,000 per person, is that getting track at the administration?
I am very hopeful, and I'm hoping that the governor will consider pushing that out. I did hear him say that he has been in contact with CUC and are working on something else. So either way, whatever comes out of that, the intent is to help our people.
Yes.
It doesn't matter from who, really.
So
if the governor and CUC is planning on something,
Yeah.
then that's great. I'm really happy for that, and I'm in support of that. And if my resolution is a duplicate of what they're already working on, then that's fine.
Because the people are the beneficiary. You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. and continue doing a great job, Representative Magofnia. The work for the people, because I can see the passion for that you're working for the people. Okay.
Well, I just want to quickly mention to our people, that I'm working on a lot of deals right now, but the two main ones that I would like to share with the public right now is that I'm working on a deal that would help with the price control. And this is the price control will only kick in situations such as like a natural disaster, something that greatly affects our economy. And the price control is nothing too drastic. It's basically to ensure that the stores out there are not raising the prices drastically. So, for example, if the inflation goes up by 3%, then they can raise the prices by 3%, but not more than that. So that's something that I'm working on, and I hope to introduce that sometime this month when we have
Okay.
our house session.
Send me a copy once you introduce it. Send it my way. Thank you so much, Representative. Está si Jules Mosse. Panilo si Representative Corina Magofnia. Sige, nangwa siya update. Bizaha istin no munanay mas informasyon kinin pison sampapa naguma si Jules Mosse no para si Representative Corina Magofnia talo binigi programata malak datapan sige muna gini sa Tiutsogo go sempino takutsum siya ta take two more calls the 670-234-5929 Naging gwagwa now no okay or the cell phone naging gwagwa no all right okay wag no dota sumido no tana uzong at isa dita suli next call. Okay, mala that sudesti sa Tiutsogo tahutsum buenas i programan Marianas Agupa. Yes, buenas. Go ahead.
Mom, we love you. That plan, lipara apa man jadi saja ni bukan para mona ni.
Aha.
No mona halo mesti kau benar no supplemento no o avisamiento y parte de esa boleh lah teman-teman ini itu service no bukan waktu ni. Lepas pasaran apa?
Go ahead.
Maluk no situation gini sa ano Mexico optimo ki budget hearing 20% ya lo cinema employment no papan ni arpa no positive 20% ni ya papan ni arpa malang mapan di 20% ni cinema government no mo papan di para ka papagusin ng eleksyon sa eleksyon man maksa po sula sa mga maulilit para sa otoridad presidente Martin government na yung kita nito sa Marianas naman malasa pinag-audit pinanana i no tax law si ang gusto man tinatagpan no sila privacy na out mo. Tapos, hindi man matasalan na lahat natin na nagulong problema pa. So, hindi mo pangpulo, dunia jalan itu. Iya kita. No iyo problem. No, alhamdulillah retirement. Alhamdulillah retirement. Itu something itu tool mana. Itu tool meeting para tumay mano na para tumay mano na itu pension di 25%. So something yung panmatawag da inatan kay mano na parang protegi di 25%. No biotiplen, no EMPLC bond, bigata pangan ko din EMPLC bond. Kaya yung constitution na para hindi sila kumikilinga sa muro ng kawili. So tasa ni si Paco, tasa maka royalty fee, para royalty no payment para ita no kung ka 10% to 15 million kung nato na may government di para retire no optimo glen di para betangan kita so Marianas nalaga ka tuman man kay para mo na kung sempre mo makati
Está, Jesus Mose John. Adios para gulo kwe. No. Okay, go ahead, caller. Yes. Apa tinig mo? Ganang-ganang tua. Okay, apa tinig mo? Go ahead. Yeah. Oh, está. Okay. Está. Ini bi na no está no sige no muna no hagain track. Ini yung sasangan 3 años balufan ini sige sige na. The golili ko debut marikot isan Mr. Ferran na. Sa hogweno mas mula lang nos gi radio. Elected public auditor ko sa kana unggan din ang siya. Está, si Jesus Mose, lamati ora para tahutsun si dispensa, está no ben hutsun na guapa para hinano mamen si Alan Loque. The tatsuli time check, talo igin mahutumag yun Bravo Pharmacy and Wellness Center.
Ikulit siyang tinamot dyan hinimlo. I-Bravo Pharmacy dyan Central Maulik na hinimlo. Pronto dyan listo na sedisyon amo para hinimlo. Agang watog i-233 amot 233-2668. Email is over prescription di bravomeds@gmail.com. Mabababa ginin lunes esta business. Ginin ioran alas 9 gigan, estay oran alas 6 ipupoint. Sabalo, ginin ioran alas 9 gigan, estay oran alauna gitanuan talo. Awan wato 233 amo 233-2668.
All right. Bravo Pharmacy and Wellness Center. Then look Klema, mapatumagin in Joten Markets and Department Store, Shop Local, Shop Joten. Wala na talag no siste.
Today's weather is brought to you by Joten Markets and Department Store, Shop Local, Shop Joten. Iklema bago na hari, dinakatuto si Hamzu gini i-Midtown Joten zan i-Departamento Tendasihan. Shop Local, Shop Joten.
All right. I-klema talo mapatumagin ni Joten Markets and Department Stores 82 para minay peña pa agulaw. Itsan sempia mattu hatantanwi humano mattu hatantanwi mapus humano hatantanwi i manglo mapatumagin ginin Yun ni Sanhadza Logo, 11 miles per hour. Humidity at 77 degrees. Precipitation, talo. Para utsa na pa ako na haani dyan para mamamayla na si mga natalo. Talo mapatumagin o ni Joten Market sa department store, shop, local shop. Joten! Tapanading ko kita yun si Zeus Masi. That's the Otro Sabalo, talo. Tududusan winigi programa Marianas Agupa. Pensa sa siyempre no siga mo na stita umentansi no imanggatsong siya no wa siya magkatsakin niya dati maghihita ang Sabalo o sininbag kong gininhamin si Alan inanayam doon doktor na kresimento sinuta si Bennett Ambrose Bennett lokwe nagtulos iman sauno man agang halong giprogramata in felicisitan zotalo hakade. Yun ni programan Marianas Agupa hasta otro Sabalo, in Guayza Hanzu, adios, hasta otro Sabalo si Zeus Mase.